Well, damn. Feels like it's getting cold early this year, doesn't it? Oh no, that's Magdalene, all grown up. At my age, it feels like the cold comes earlier every year. But we need this chill for the leaves to fall and the gulls with them. What? You don't want to climb the saint's tree to pull them off? Ah! Even in my youth, that would have required divine intervention. No, thank you. I'll stay here on the ground and wait patiently for the Lord to deliver. Don't you have ink back at your father's shop, though? For the press, he has it delivered. This is just for my own drawings. Besides, sometimes it feels nice to do things the old way. An old way it is. I would know. Hey, Miggs. Sister Gertrude. God bless you, Master Zimmerman. I told you not to call me that. What, eggs? Why? People call me Otts. You don't see me complaining. It's not even a name, it's a valley. You like being called Otts. Right, so? Why are you being so stuck up? Master Zimmerman, would you call Mary Magdalene, witness to our Lord's death and resurrection, Mags? I guess not. And it seems only fitting that you should call Mistress Struckherin by her full Christian name. All right. Sorry, sister. Sorry, Megs. Magdalene. Anyway, your dad wants to see you. What? Why? Isn't he at the rat house? He is. He wants you to grab his mural sketches and bring them. Oh, fine. I suppose this is enough galls for now. I was just about finished too. God bless you both. Don't be long, Magdalene. The council's waiting on this. Not sure why this falls on me, but I suppose I better get going. I think Dad left the Rathouse plans on his workshop bench at home next to the printing press. Do we want to check out the scenery? No, Magdalene's got to help her dad. Let's get back to town. Let me go check out Smokey's home. So, how many years later is this? She was like just like a toddler, right? 2-ish. So I don't know how old she is here, but we're talking like over a decade. Oh, it's right there. I see it. The Rathouse mural sketches. I think this is what my dad wants. I think these are all of the plans. What is this part of the plans? Uh-oh. Stop. Huh. Take a jab at her dad. This isn't Dad's handwriting. I can actually kind of read this. Thank God he's a printer. Well, whatever. I'll bring it just in case. Alright, I'd better get these over to the Rathouse. I still haven't actually looked up what the definition of a Rathouse is. Let's check the upstairs. Hey. Wow. This is very spacious up here. Oh. Wait, is that an option? I'm not tired right now. Alright, it is not an option. Rathouse is up here in central town. Oh. There's Otts. Hey again, Megs. Are you serious? I just told you not to call me that. And what are you all doing out here? Don't you have better things to do? What business is that of yours? Not me. All my work's done, Megs. What do you care? It's not like you've got important work to do. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, we were just playing Andreas as kind of a bookkeeper kind of guy, right? All about the law and accounting and stuff, so let's play her a little bit differently. Tinker. Tinker's an option. Domestics. You know what? I like the Tinker idea. She was out in the forest gathering stuff for ink. Her dad's kind of innovative with the printing press. We'll say Magdalene's a tinker. I keep the press running for my dad, and I work with Baltus on his inventions. Of course, I didn't even make that connection, but yes, she... No, it was Ursula who liked Baltus. Magdalene was too young to talk to him. That seems a little more important than standing around the commons in the middle of the day. Baltus's inventions are stupid. Doesn't seem like something a girl should be involved with, if you ask me. Right. No one did. Ooh. Calm down, Megs. You're going to get a reputation. How would she not have one already? She's clearly very attitude-y. Oh, there you go. Too late to worry about that. She already has a reputation. No, she does not come across as a flirt. She could be a strong haggler. She could be a snoop. Farm. Skilled at stinging, countering, and otherwise deflating people in conversation. I don't know if that's a skill. That's like a, you know, that's not a virtue anyway. But I'm really getting the impression that that's how she is. So we're going to play her that way. She is a tinker who is not very social. At least I have a reputation. If you died today, your epitaph would read, 3 shitheads who spend every morning harassing girls in the commons. Okay, she's smart too. Assuming you got a grave, that is. Okay. She's a little cruel. More likely they'd toss your worthless bodies on a compost heap and hope for a better return. That's going a little far. Jesus Christ. Alright, we got it. Lay off. Did you get those things your dad wanted? Yes, that's why I was on my way to the Wrath House. Hopefully I can drop these off and start my reading for the day. Reading? What book is so important that you need to get back to it? You know what? Ooh, that's interesting. No. Scatological. I don't know what that word means. Okay, so she's a tinker. What sort of stuff would tinker be interested in? It would probably be the Volksbücher. So sorted trivia, almanacs, common knowledge, and scatological stories. I think that seems most likely for her. We'll go with that. Melusine. Esther sent it to me from Prague. Is that about that snake woman who takes all her clothes? Sort of, but no, not really. Or at all. Ooh, does it have any pictures? Right. I want to see. Calm down. I'm not showing you lecherous dogs anything. Don't you read all sorts of books about trees and birds and whatever? Yes, trees and birds and whatever. That's right. Very smart. People are finally writing down what they see in nature instead of copying something a Greek imagined centuries ago. Do you have any books on frogs? What? Never mind. Wait, Odds, aren't you supposed to be at the Wrath House too? You're on the council. Sure, but it's pointless without your dad's plans. Let's go. Ugh, fine. I don't understand how we're still arguing about this. These murals should depict the truth. What we know is the truth. I don't think it's so simple, Klaus. Are you afraid of angering our Lord, Father Thomas? Father Thomas? Father Thomas is not the Lord. I think Father Thomas means that the truth is not so easily agreed upon. I don't know. I'm tired of arguing. I just want it to look nice and show what happened. What happened to Big York's eye? Magdalene, thank you for bringing these. Maybe illustrations will succeed where talking has failed. I'm done arguing with them. I'll see you at home for supper. What? You're not going to present the illustrations? It's alright, Magdalene. We don't need to see the drawings. It's not that we don't understand what he's trying to do. I didn't realize we had upset him so much. Sounds like things have gotten worse after I left. Well, we've been arguing about this for almost 2 hours. For all the good it did us, he hasn't budged. What's the point of talking if you can't make any progress? Magdalene, could you speak to your father? Help him see things from our point of view? Father Thomas, I don't even know what you're all arguing about. What is your point of view? Klaus has strong, very strong opinions on how the history of Tassing of Kearsarge Abbey should be portrayed. And those portrayals may upset some of our neighbors. Isn't the real concern that it's going to upset the Lord? Isn't everyone really worried about him coming here someday and seeing the revolt memorialized on the wall? You keep saying that we all disagree with him. I don't think I do. Not entirely. Well, what do you think, York? I know I'm not the smartest man in this room, but I know what happened to my own dad. I know what he did. It doesn't feel right to ignore what happened to him, what happened to Otto. Look, you all knew my dad. I never had the chance. I don't want to make the people in this town angry. I don't want to make our Lord angry. None of us do. But maybe there's a way to tell this story in a way that's true without upsetting anyone. So, it's all very complicated, you see, Magdalene. Try to get him to consider a portrayal of our history that's a little less inflammatory. My father was deeply affected by the revolt. It won't be easy to convince him of anything. The revolt was a major event for everyone in Tassing. I know how hard it was for him. We need to come to an agreement or call off the mural entirely. He's been wanting to paint this mural for years. You can't tell him no all of a sudden. Then help us, Magdalene. Your father will listen to you. Alright, I won't promise anything though. He's already hard enough to convince. Now I'm going back home. This mess has taken up too much of my day already. Ooh, okay. Progressing through the ages. Wow, it took her that long to get home? Magdalene? Thank you for bringing the drawings to the Rathaus. I'm sorry it was a waste of time. Those men don't know what they want. When I tell them what I'm trying to do, they get scared. Then they talk and talk and talk. They talk all day and we're never any closer to a decision. I'm sick of it. Sick of the whole thing. They'd probably stop arguing if you just proposed something more predictable. Of course, then what's the point of doing it? I've spent my whole life illustrating and printing other people's stories. For the first time, I feel like this is my story to tell. I didn't know it was so important to you. We hear all of these stories about what this place was, how it came to be. And it feels like history is something that happened before, happened to other people. But 18 years ago, we lived through something, you and I, everyone in Tassing. Everyone wants to forget about it, pretend it didn't happen. You don't. No, I don't. All those years ago, I did nothing. I was worried for you, worried for Benjamin and Rachel and Esther. I was so afraid that I'd lose you. I wouldn't have been able to bear it. In the end, so many people died anyway. Peter and Ulrich and Andreas and all of the others. And we lived. Dad, everyone says that it wouldn't have made any difference. If you and the others had fought, you would have died. I would have died. Maybe I could have stopped him from going to the mill. Or maybe we could have stopped the peasants from burning it down. But we'll never know. Is that what this is about, this mural? It's a chance to put something down in a place where everyone can see. If people start to forget, this will remind them. We were here. This happened. If I don't do it, who will? You're right, Dad. I wish the men in that bathhouse saw me the way that you do. One way or another, you'll figure it out. I hope so. All the arguing has left me beat. I'm going to bed early. Alright, I'm going to stay up for a bit and write a letter to Esther. Good. Please say hello to her for me. And her parents. I know, Dad. Good night, Magdalene. I love you. I love you too. Oh, he just disappeared. All this running around has left me tired too. It will be nice to sit down at my desk and just write for a while. Alright, where to begin? I should write to Esther. That is what I came here to do. Dearest Esther. I hope you and your family are well. Dad sends his regards to your parents like usual. I've spent the last few days collecting oak balls with Sister Gertrude. I don't suppose you have the chance to do that in Prague. Sister Gertrude has been teaching me how to grind them into a smoothing. It's difficult work, but you'll find no better ink anywhere in Bavaria. I'll send along a bottle with this letter. Oh, did I mention? Dad started a new project. He's painting a mural of Tassing's history in our new Rathaus to memorialize the revolt. The whole thing has me thinking about my own family history, past, present, and future. I don't think I want to stay in Tassing forever. It's a quaint place to grow up, but I'm 20 now. Dad says I should take over the shop, but I want to do more with my life. Not just take over a print shop in some tiny town in the Alps. If I married a master printer, then I could become a part of the Printers Guild. Then I'd be able to send Dad my extra earnings and make a name for myself in one of the cities. And yes, before you break the nib off your pen, I will come visit you in Prague, I promise. I'll try to make time to visit before winter. Life has been bustling here. Dad's been busy with the Rathaus mural, so I've taken over in the workshop. I'm sure it will be a sight to behold once it's finished. Write back to me soon. All my love, Magda. We could go out. Is there anything to do? Has the map changed? Oh, it's telling us to go to sleep. Oh, wow, it's all burnt out. Crazy. Okay. Well, I guess we go to sleep here. It's late. I should get some rest soon. Oh! Dad? Dad? Magdalene! Dad! Hang on, I'm coming! Oh, shoot. Dad! Magdalene! What happened? Are you alright? You're bleeding. Someone came into the house. They hit me over the head. I'll go get Dr. Schultz. Try not to move, Dad. Magdalene, it's not safe. Whoever attacked me. I can't carry you across town, Dad. I won't be long, I swear. Please, just hold on. Magdalene, be careful. I will. I'll be right back, I promise. I hope he pulls through. Do you know why anyone would want to attack you, Klaus? No. Maybe someone didn't like one of the books I sold them. Are you sure you didn't see a shadow and hit your head on the printing press? Come on, York. You saw the workshop. Someone was looking for something. A burglar? In Tassing? That's preposterous. Well, if it wasn't an attack, what was it? Enough. It was a deliberate blow to the head. Unless any of you wish to debate my diagnosis? No, of course not. Oh, as I thought. Truthfully, Klaus, I'm surprised the blow didn't kill you. You have a strong skull. It's a grave injury. Magdalene, you'll need to help take care of your father. I will. Whatever I need to do. Good. Of course, the mural will have to be called off now. Klaus, you absolutely cannot get out of bed. No, it has to be done. This is too important. Just give me some time to rest. I'll find a way to make it work. I don't think we need to cancel the entire project. Can't we just wait? Klaus, your health comes first. Anyway, we haven't even been able to agree on what the mural should be. Indeed. It might be best to abandon the entire idea. With respect, Father, you are not on this council. Oh, Father Thomas, you are not on this council. Yes, just offering an opinion. I can paint the mural. What? Megs, quit joking around. Well, I know you want to help your dad, but aren't you too young for something this big? Yeah, I think that's the response here. I'm older than Otts, and he's on the town council, and he doesn't even do anything. Yes, I do. I do plenty for the town. Painting a mural this large and complicated will take a lot of skill and expertise. So? So that's why we were having your dad make it. He's been making art forever. I agree with Paul. Klaus needs home care. You're best suited for that, Magdalene, not a mural. What is that supposed to mean? Well, aren't you sure you're up for it? Physically, I mean. It's quite demanding. You'd be up on scaffolding and could fall. Are you not listening to me? I've already been doing this work for years. I know what it takes. Dad knows what it takes. Do you? I can do it, Dad.
If you don't trust Magdalene to do the mural, to hell with the lot of you. Klaus! If you don't trust her, you don't trust me. I'll never do any work for this council again.
That's an ultimatum. Alright, I say we let her. It doesn't look like we have much of a choice. Very well.
Alright, Magdalene, you can do it. But you still need to talk to us about what you're doing, alright?
Fine, but I'm taking Dad's ideas into account. Well, we'll figure it out.
Thanks, Magdalene. Rest up, Klaus. I'll do my best, Jorg.
Magdalene, just a moment. Yes, what is it? I didn't want to say this in front of your father or the others. Maybe we should take this to the other room? Your father is lucid right now, but his injury is severe. His current demeanor is misleading. I know the injury is severe, Werner. I saw all the blood. Magdalene, there is damage to his brain. He may have a few weeks, maybe even a few months left. But he's not going to survive. Can't we take him to see a surgeon? No, he can't be moved in this condition. Can't we bring a surgeon here? In fact, he shouldn't be moved at all. Even if he could, I don't think the finest Italian surgeons would know how to deal with trauma like this. So, he's just going to die? And there's nothing I can do about it? You can make him comfortable and you can enjoy the time you have left. I can help with palliative care. But time will run out before long. I'm sorry, Magdalene. Dad needs to be able to see the mural in its finished form. But I don't know how much time he has left. Werner said it could be a few months, or... God protect him. I'll pick up where Dad left off. He wanted to paint the history of Tassing from its earliest days to the revolt. I'll start with the earliest part of Tassing's history, the pagan tribes and the Romans. Then I'll move on to the founding of the Abbey and Tassing's saints. After that, I should find a way to represent our recent history. Depicting the revolt is important to Dad. People in Tassing might know some of the town's history, but not all of it. Dad said the library in Kearsarge had some records. He was going to write to the last prioress to see if she had any information. I should write to her now, while I'm thinking about it. Alright, where to begin? Dad told me the last prioress at Kearsarge knew something about the old history of Tassing. He said she became the abbess of a convent in Bologna. Mother Illuminata? Yes, at St. Margherita. I should write to her. Mother Illuminata, abbess of Santa Margherita, formerly prioress of Kearsarge Abbey. I am the daughter of Klaus Straucher, Magdalene. We are printers from Tassing. You are acquainted with my father. He bought many books from the library before that terrible fire consumed the place. I am writing because my father and I are creating a mural in the Tassing Rathaus. It's going to tell the history of our community and of Kearsarge as well. We have only legends and folklore, since, of course, all of Kurosawa's books were destroyed in the fire. I was hoping you could tell us something about the early history of the town, when the Romans were here. If you know anything about the early history of the abbey itself, we would also be glad to hear of it. We would appreciate any help you could give us, and we hope you are well. My father always spoke highly of you, especially how you cared for the sisters after the fire. God bless you. Magdalene. If I want to finish the mural before Christmas, I should start planning tomorrow. I should head to bed and get as much rest as I can. It's late. I should get some rest soon. My goodness. Skipped a lot of time there.
Ah, Mistress Druckerin, I have a few letters here addressed to you. Take care now.
Thank you, sir. Mother Illuminata wrote back to me. I hope her response helps me paint the mural. Mistress Druckman, thank you for your letter. I hope this reply finds you and your father in good health. I remember you both, as your father would carry you between the rows of our library in its final years. I also remember your late mother and brother, God keep their souls. While we did have some books that discussed things past, it's likely they were mythological as what your neighbors believe. That said, I remember one of our peasants, Tillman Krenzer, read about the history of the town.
We did actually have a good discussion with him as Andreas.
I know he died during the revolt. Oh, but perhaps his family knows some of what he learned. I should also say that it's not true that all of Kurosawa's books were destroyed by the fire. Andreas Mahler managed to save some from the flames, God rest his soul. In the aftermath of that terrible night, cataloging and preserving the surviving books was not at the top of any of our minds. Even so, this topic has stirred a memory within me. Several years before the fire, there was a death at Kurosawa, the murder of Baron Rothvogel. He had mentioned something about finding a copy of Historia Taciae, a comprehensive chronicle of your home. I had forgotten about it until now because the murder dominated all of our thoughts in the days and weeks that followed. It troubles me now because I recall that the late Father Matthias was also reading a copy of Historia Taciae shortly before he died. We never accounted for either book's whereabouts. They may have been hidden somewhere in the library and went up with everything else. Perhaps Prior Ferenc took it from the Baron after the murder. Ferenc had an interest in books of all sorts, of course, but it seems like an odd thing to do at the moment. Then again, only God knows what he did and why he did it. Miklas Habero, the Baron's manservant, believed it may have been stolen by the town thief, Martin Bauer. If Martin is still alive, I would ask him if he knows where the book is. Hopefully he didn't trade it for a mug of beer on his way out of Tassing. If the man has passed from this world, perhaps his family knows where the book wound up. As for the history of the Abbey, I fear that was also lost in the blaze. However, as sacristan, Prior Matthew learned a great deal about the subject. I have not kept in contact with him, but I know that he is now the Archdeacon of Sion. He is no longer a Benedictine, but uses his family name, Fansigny Salt. Fansigny Salt. If you write to him soon, your letter may reach him before snow covers Valais. Please convey my best wishes to your father. He was a good friend to the Abbey in its better years. Despite the violence that occurred, I hold no ill will toward anyone from Tassing. I pray that you have seen better days since that night, and that God forgives the many errors we made. God bless you as well. Mother Illuminata, Abbess of Santa Margherita. Oh, Esther wrote to me as well. My dear Magda, my parents were glad to hear from your father. Please tell him they wish to hear from him soon. Speaking of printing, your ink was well received indeed. I've made several prints with it. They look lovely on the wall. Elisha has taken to making his own ink from scraps he found around the house after he saw yours. Mother was furious when he spent several pennings trying to find lapis at the market. She set him scrubbing the floors for it. Took him 3 days. I'm glad you're keeping busy, even though it keeps you from visiting. Father says we'll have room whenever you decide to make an appearance. Though, really, if you don't plan to stay in Tassing, you ought to come sooner rather than later. There are plenty of beautiful young Christian men around town, printers and academics alike. Or maybe something else. You'd have your pick. Prague is a good city for me as well. Before the expulsion, there was a handsome man at synagogue, Sigmund, who caught my eye. His father is a merchant, and he's a doctor. He went to the University of Padua. Can you believe it? I'd quite like to marry him, if I can find him again. Anyway, I think you'd have even better luck than me. The boys would swoon at a beautiful blonde artist from the Alps. Please, keep us abreast of your father's mural. We'll have to come see it when it's finished. Blessings. Esther. I'll have to write Esther back tonight. I should head home and check on Dad. Hey, Dad. How are you feeling?
Magdalene. Sitting upright is still a struggle, I'm afraid. The dizziness makes my stomach turn, so I'd rather not eat at the moment.
Are you sure? I can bring up something light, like milk or broth.
No, I can't stomach anything just yet. But tell me, where are you off to?
I need to get started on the first part of the mural today, the old history. Mother Illuminata didn't know much about Tassing's early history, but she did give me a few places to start. I'm going to ask Black Till if his grandfather told him any stories. Illuminata said he used to read about the Romans.
Mother Illuminata, Magdalene.
Right, yes, Mother Illuminata.
Young Kreutzer has mentioned those tales from time to time, yes. He comes by to borrow books now and then. Usually when he's found some interesting old ruin out in the fields. You might ask him about that. A pity that ill Peter passed. He knew a great deal about Tassing's earliest history. I think his granddaughter Ursula might have learned a thing or two from him. She was always quite keen on those things. It made Clara nervous. You might talk to Smokey, too. The old charcoal burner seems to know more than about what's in the woods around town than anyone else. That, and he's a known gossip.
He's always been kind to me when I chat with him. I'm certain he'll know something about the ruins.
You may hear something worth your while, at any rate.
I'll go talk to him. What about the ruins or the mines? I can't just use books and stories alone. I want to explore whatever is left over from the Romans and before. The salt mine and Roman ruins are the oldest parts of Tassing, so it only makes sense to see what they left behind.
You take after your mother. She was always thorough in her research.
You always said that's what a good artist do, Dad.
Be careful, all right? I know the twins mess around near the salt mine, but I don't want you getting hurt. I don't know why Georg doesn't keep them in line. Always making trouble, those two.
They don't have brains enough to keep out of trouble. I do.
I should hope so. You're the one running the shop for now, after all. Don't forget your other chores while you're running around town, all right? We still have a household to run.
Don't worry, I'll get everything done.
That's my girl.
I'd better get going if I want to do all of that today. I'll see you later, Dad.
Good luck, Magdalene.
So do we have to do chores around the home? Doesn't look like it. Okay. Let's head out. So there's Smokey. Martin Bauer is what I think would be the most useful, having the Historia Tassia, I believe it's called. So let's go to Martin Bauer Farm. No long Johann Bauer. Here's Brigitte. Might be useful to talk to her. Here's actual Martin. Let's talk to him. Morning, Magdalene. How's Klaus? Enduring. Even when his speech is slurred, he keeps a cheerful heart. I don't know what life would be like without him. Klaus is a good man, Magdalene. Tassing is a better place thanks to him. He's one of the few in Tassing who hasn't been on my back all this time. What do you mean? Don't pretend like you haven't heard. Townsfolk have whispered shit about me for years. So what if I occasionally get into a few brawls? I'm an honest man. I wasn't involved with what happened to Otto Zimmerman. I supported his cause. I've pulled my weight around here, tilled the soil, salted the meats, provided for Brigitte and Kraft. I've done enough back-breaking work for this family. Can't a man just have a goddamned rest? This is, like, why are you getting into this, Martin? Brigitte supports you in all this, doesn't she? That's a wife's duty. Take note, Magdalene. We get along, though she often spends more time with Veronica than me. Everyone needs a close friend, as I'm fortunate to have in Esther. Yeah, good to have friends. Right, I've lost enough time to this as it is. Time for you to go. Wait, I almost forgot the reason I came to you. I'm trying to learn about the history of Tassing. I was told you could help. Me? What do I know about history? Mother Illuminata told me you borrowed a book of local history from Baron Rothvogel. Mother Illuminato? Oh, you mean one of the old nuns from the convent. Sure. A book. I might have taken it back then. That was a lifetime ago. I can't remember the book or what I did with it. Those years are a blur. Probably threw it away somewhere, or left it at home. Wouldn't have been much for me to do with the book. I can't read. Too unique for me to have sold, too. No one outside Tassing cares about its history anyway. Maybe I should ask Brigitte if she remembers anything about it. Sure, couldn't hurt. It was decades ago, but she's the one who remembers shit. Thanks for the help, I guess. Uh-huh. If there's nothing else, I've got work to do. Until later, Martin. That's interesting that we can choose that. Until later, Martin. Do I have suspicion that he's not actually Martin? As far as I know, I don't. Like, Magdalene isn't aware of any oddity with him, so I'm going to say until later, Martin, just normally. Until then. Alright, let's ask Brigitte. Magdalene, how are you keeping? I'm eager to continue work on the mural. I have so much to do before Christmas. I'm certain it will be the pride of Tassing when you're through. You've always had your mother's talent for art. And how is your dad? His mind is fading. I pray for him every night. As do I. Lord knows what your dad means to this town, and what you mean. In some ways, after the revolt, you became everyone's daughter. That's a sweet idea. I wish the council saw it the same way. Oh, they don't mean anything by it. They love you, Magda, but they're worried about pleasing the Lord. It's not fair to you, but it is what it is. Thank God the doctor's turned a new leaf. I do believe he's up to the task of healing your dad. What does that mean, turned a new leaf? I thought that meant like he's changed his ways. He's always been the doctor though, right? Caring for someone can be an arduous task, even if you love them. It's all right if you find it challenging. The Lord sees your labors for your dad and admires them. But I believe God will pull your dad through, whatever the doctor says. We need him. God willing, you're right. I am at his mercy. God willing. Amen. Have you thought about what you'll do if your dad doesn't come through this? I'd have to get married. You remember what happened to Attilia. That poor woman. But you're a good girl, Magda. There are any number of families in Tassing who'd be happy to take you. You have someone in mind, don't you? I literally can't imagine who you'd be alluding to. There's not a single young man of quality in this town. Not even young Otts? He's about as subtle as his father, rest Otto's soul. Ah, I miss him. I wish I'd got to meet him, properly I mean. He made an impression, that's for certain. Oh, the girls around town knew better than to moon after him, though that didn't stop some of us. He was Ava's from the start. As Otts appears to be yours. But if nothing ever comes of that, know that you're always welcome in my family, Magda. Perhaps a nice, hard-working boy. He's got a sharp mind. He can provide for a family. I'm not sure we're a good match. Not even marriage starts off on solid footing, but if you pray and work and trust in the Lord, you can find it in time. Believe me. If it's not working out, how can you be sure a couple belongs together? God knows. He brings people together for a purpose. We don't need to understand it, only to have faith in Providence. In any case, I should get back to the chores. Remember what I said. Whatever happens, you're always welcome in my home. Oh, before I forget, I actually had a question about an old book. Martin is supposed to have stolen it from the Baron who was killed years ago. Do you know what happened to it? Oh. I hope this doesn't get me into any trouble, but I still have it, hidden in a drawer. Martin left it behind when he ran off. He went to all the trouble to take it, but didn't bring it along? Martin was a thief, but he wasn't stupid. I'm sure he realized no one would believe he'd come by the book honestly, so he couldn't sell it. Why do you keep it? What was I supposed to do? The Baron was killed soon after, and there I was holding his stolen book. I didn't want Martin to get in any more trouble than he was already. I never read it, though. I don't read well. Can I have it? I don't know. I need to reference it for the mural. But won't everyone wonder where you got the ideas? I've been talking to people all over town. They'll think I got the ideas from them. Oh, all right. I'd like to have nothing more to do with it, to be frank. It reminds me of difficult times. A stolen book of a dead nobleman in our home. Perhaps it spoiled our milk and turned our eggs all these years. Here you are. Please, don't tell anyone I had this. Ah, Historia Taciae. It's in Latin, which I don't read well. I'll puzzle over it in the evening. Thank you, Brigitte. You've been a big help. Of course, Magda. Be well now. God bless. You too, Brigitte. Until later. What was the book that we gave Magdalene when she was a baby? Wasn't it in Latin? I thought the idea of that was that she would learn Latin. Maybe I'm mixing up the books. What? What's going on here? Wolslav? God bless you, Magdalene. Oh, Matilda. God bless you, Magdalene. Hello, Matilda. Hello, Wolslav. How are you two?
Very well. The Lord has blessed us more than we deserve.
And how are you, Magdalene? I was worried about you keeping the house and the workshop all on your own. Let me buy some soup for you and your father. Dad would love that. I've hardly had a moment to cook a hot meal. Between your father, the shop, and the mural, I'm surprised you're not dead on your feet. He's very lucky to have such a devoted daughter.
And before you worry about imposing, you're not. Taking care of our neighbors is how Tilda and I serve Tassing.
Our vocation may have changed, but our gratitude to God and the town has not. It's hard to imagine you two ever lived in the Abbey.
Huh. Sometimes those days feel like another lifetime. A harder time, to be sure.
Were the Benedictines anything like the poor Clares? We lived simple lives of devotion, but
not that simple.
I'm given to understand they don't make art in the convent now. Such a shame in that beautiful workshop. In any case, a nun's vows include dedication to a simple life with all the challenges that entails. But I struggled. With my vows, my discipline, I couldn't live as my sisters did. I broke my vows, as did Wolslav. You fell in love.
We did. Well, I seduced her.
You certainly did not.
Are you telling young Magda here that you seduced me then?
Wolslav, please. So you left the Abbey. Well, we were found out, but our secret was kept. Still, the matter ate at my heart.
That, and being falsely accused of murdering the old Baron terrified you, and rightly so. That did not happen. At no point was she ever accused of murdering the Baron.
We all must account for our sins, Magdalene. I was afraid I would account for mine sooner than I thought.
Those were the hardest years of my life.
I repented and prayed to God to absolve me.
But the Lord always provides, even in the darkest days.
The Abbey's destruction gave us a second chance. I can't imagine that the townsfolk were too happy to let you stay.
There was some suspicion at first, yes. But we proved useful in the days following, and soon they came around.
The Lord forgives more readily than man, Magdalene. Never think that you must remain in a place that causes you to sin, even if others think it godly. I'm glad you two are finally able to live a life together. You both deserve it. Only by the grace of God are we in this life together.
May it be many more years before we part.
God willing. Anyway, Magdalene, I'll send that soup over to you shortly. Thank you, Matilda.
God bless you, Magda.
God bless.
Andres, did you ever find that woman? Hello, Magdalene. How is Klaus? Ressi and I are very worried.
Hooray! Alive, and that's what matters.
Did you discover who attacked him?
No, whoever it was, they left no sign.
A terrible crime. Terrible. May God look after you both. We've had enough tragedy in this town. Fortunately, Dr. Stoltz appears to have found his purpose.
Really? He's so dour all the time.
Used to be worse. Liked to talk about how he was destined for better places than this backwater alpine town. How he was meant for the courts of kings. No longer, he grew up.
Did the revolt change him?
Changed everyone. But he's the one who saw the bodies. He's not a heartless man, Magdalene. He deserves our compassion. Ah, but I shouldn't gossip. If there's anything Ressi and I can do for you, let us know.
I will. Thank you for your kindness, Andres.
It's nothing. I owe your father more than I can say. Take care, Magdalene.
Here's Ressi. Let's meet her. Hello, Mistress Struckburn. How is Klaus? Andres and I have been terribly worried. Dad's spirits are high, but he still gets headaches and spells of dizziness. If there's anything we can do to help you, let us know. Andres is always ready to provide. He and Klaus have been friends for a long time. If you don't mind, you weren't born in Tassing, am I right? No, I am originally from Innsbruck. How did you arrive here? The twists of Providence are sudden and unpredictable. I was but a young girl selling all manner of wares in the market, pots and the like. One day this man appears to the stall, all jitters and nerves, stammering over his words, but charming in a way. We spoke at length. I was intrigued and soon enamored, as if a candle had been lit. Andres is a man of talent and means, after all, blessed with a kind soul. How did it feel to leave home for somewhere far away, uprooting yourself from the life you had? Frightening, to be sure, leaving Innsbruck, my friends and family behind. But it was exciting as well, going off to find new opportunities and build a new life. There wasn't much I had to look forward to in Innsbruck, a few prospects for a poor girl. I couldn't see myself sitting at the market, continuing to sell odds and ends. Sometimes there are risks we just have to take. That's very inspiring, Ressi. I'm glad you found happiness here. We all struggled in this world, but the moments of joy outweigh the bad. It's how God has set the world, His benevolence guiding us through it all. I feel I've been blessed, and it's not been all bad for Andres either. I assist him with the bookkeeping side of the smithy, and other things. Thank you for telling me about your past. It's nothing, Magdalene. I hope it has provided you with some encouragement. Don't forget you are as important as well, and deserve to live your life. All right, I have to assist Endress with a few things. Be well, Magdalene. Until later, Therese.